Part 78. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 773. Lu Feng could see that many Song soldiers knelt down after killing people. They were wailing and shouting to the sky that they had finally taken revenge. The hatred could be clearly seen even from dozens of meters away. Zhao Yun and Dian Wei guarded the edge to prevent anyone from escaping without being caught by the Song soldiers. They watched helplessly as people with distorted expressions fell in front of them one after another, still looking indifferent. So what if he was a child? In front of these two murderous gods, he did not take action personally, all because he wanted the consequences of those Song soldiers, otherwise these people who fell in front of them would probably have no bones left. They stayed further away because they just disliked the blood getting on them, they thought it was dirty. Finally, as the sun set, the soldiers covered in blood came back, with tears on their faces that might have been shed for the last time in their lives. "Thank you, General, for your great kindness, allowing us to take revenge with our own hands. General, please accept our kneeling ceremony." The soldiers came back, and one of them with the highest military rank, who was equivalent to their talker, stood at the front of the team and said a heartfelt thank you on behalf of the many soldiers behind him. They all expressed their gratitude. "Kneel down and be grateful." Dian Wei and Zhao Yun watched from a distance. When they walked over, they knew in their hearts that these people would be Lu Feng's dead soldiers in this world. They did not need training. They would definitely go through fire and water for Lu Feng. Lu Feng, who has won the hearts and minds of many people, would definitely leave his heirs to control the world, and no one would stand up to oppose him. Even the old ministers of the Northern Song dynasty would not have the strength to oppose him. Regardless of the military power and the people's support, Lu Feng can only do it. Own. Lita Euro trademark S set off. Go to Linhuang mansion of Liao Kingdom. Lu Feng didn't talk nonsense with these soldiers. There will be people from other countries to deal with next, and the Liao Kingdom is one of the most important dynasties to deal with. They want to stay until the Liao Kingdom. After all, Xiao Feng will definitely not do it. The Khitan was destroyed, but he would watch other dynasties be destroyed. The Liao Kingdom had many capitals, including Linhuang Prefecture in Shangjing, Dating Prefecture in Zhongjing, Liaoyang Prefecture in Tokyo, Zhejiang Prefecture in Nanjing, and Datong Prefecture in Zhejiang. These were all their capitals. But in 907, after the Liao Kingdom established its capital in Linhuang Mansion in Beijing, it was named Khitan. After that, it was the Khitan people that everyone was most familiar with. Before that, they could not be called Khitan. They could not even call themselves Khitan. None of them have completed true unification. This is also the shortcoming of the nomadic people. Everyone is not fixed. If you want to unify, compared with the Central Plains, it takes more time to find someone. Lu Feng led the army to Linhuang Mansion in Shangjing. The city gate was closed tightly, and there were only a rough man and an ugly monk standing at the gate. They looked at Lu Feng with complicated eyes, each with their own thoughts. And today, as long as the Linhuang Mansion of the Liao Kingdom is forced to go to Beijing, then the territory has been 80% unified, and the remaining small countries have nothing to fear. Different dynasties have different powerful dynasties. In the background of Tianlong Ba Bulletin, the most powerful one is the Liao Kingdom, and in the background of the legend of Condor heroes here, the most powerful one is the Kingdom of Jin. Ita Euro trademark S that simple, and now, as long as the Liao Kingdom Euro trademark S last Shangjing Linhuang Mansion is destroyed, the world will be at your fingertips. This is why Li Bingchang of Zixia knelt down and surrendered when he went out of the city gate. His Majesty the Emperor, he knew very well that the world would belong to Lu Feng sooner or later. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 774. Mr. Lu, I never thought that you and I would be in this situation when we met again. Xiao Feng looked at Lu Feng with a complicated expression. Who could have imagined that it would end like this? And he watched the fall of Xixia and the city being massacred without any objection, until now Lu Feng led his troops to the Linhuang mansion in Shangjing of the Liao kingdom. He stood up. In the final analysis, Xiao Feng is just an ordinary person with high skills. He also has his own joys, sorrows, and joys. Do you have to stop me here? You should know that success as king and defeat as bandits cannot change the outcome. If Liao loses, it must surrender. Lu Feng looked at Xiao Feng standing in front of him. If he hadn't been worried that Xiao Feng would commit suicide if he disagreed with him, he would have taken action long ago. You must know that the first task is to prevent Xiao Feng from committing suicide. It's not that I want to stop Mr. Lu here, I just come to ask Mr. Lu not to give the Liao kingdom the end of Xixia, and to leave a way for our Khan to survive. Xiao Feng sincerely requested. He came here specially because Xixia was massacred. This made him dare not imagine how he would have the face to meet his ancestors if the Liao kingdom became like that. You have met your father, but have you taken him to meet the sweeper? Lu Feng was speechless. Why stand up now and cause trouble for him? This, I don't know about the sweeping monk, but he came to see my father in person. After that, my father followed him. Before leaving, he advised me to put down my hatred and put the overall situation first. Then I went out to travel around the world, hoping I can increase my knowledge, but I accidentally met the little master Suzu. Although the little master is young, he is very knowledgeable. I admire him very much. Xiao Feng introduced Suzu to Lu Feng familiarly, and also talked about how the world line changed after he received the information from Lu Feng. I am no longer a disciple of Buddhism, so I dare not be called a little master. Xiao Daxia is too polite. Suzu responded respectfully. He is a simple and honest person. Although he is not good looking, he is lovable. I won't massacre the city, and you don't have to force me here. Lu Feng knows why Xiao Feng is here, so he might as well give him a promise. Xiao Feng will bear in mind Mr. Liu's great kindness and kindness. The Liao kingdom has been defeated and he will not cause trouble in the future. I will supervise them in Linhuang mansion. Please rest assured, Mr. Liu. Xiao Feng was very surprised. He originally thought that Lu Feng would definitely massacre the city because of the Song people's hatred for the Fan people, but he didn't expect that Lu Feng would spare the Liao country for his sake. He was relieved. Remember what you said, if you can't let the Liao people be your ministers in peace in the future, I don't mind massacring all the Liao people. Lu Feng said and left Linhuang mansion in Beijing. From now on, the world belongs to him, so why let Xiao Feng commit suicide for a city? 7 days later, Lu Feng chose a good day to unify the world and named the country Shenlong. The Ding Shenlong Kingdom is his vassal state. 9 months later, Azu and Abai gave birth to twins and Abai got a little princess, so he made his brother the young emperor. Azu and Abai both stayed in this world. 18 years later, back to Lu Feng. Lu Feng went to pick up Wang Yuyan from the job transfer palace, leaving the dragon soldiers to guard his son. In this way, the adventure in the world of Tianlong Ba Bulletin ended in a hurry. Before he could take a breath, a new mission is coming, this time going to the world of martial arts, the world of the Condor heroes. Lu Feng is too lazy to choose, so he simply chooses from among the 5 tiger generals. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 775. Lu Feng took Guan Yu, Huang Zhong, and 50 dragon soldiers to the world of the Condor heroes. There are 2 tasks given by the system. Euro 1. Prevent Yang Guo from breaking his arm. Euro 2. Unify the world, Han people first. We must give priority to completing the easiest one. The first goal must be to find Yanguo, and only before he jumps off the cliff can he be prevented from breaking his arm. Looking around, I found that I had traveled to a relatively remote old forest. It was still unclear which place and time period I had traveled to, so I had better leave this deep mountain and old forest first. I randomly found a direction and walked forward. My luck was better than I expected. Not long after, I suddenly heard the sound of fighting nearby. When I walked over and took a look, I saw two voices in the open space in front of me, but their movements didn't look like they were fighting, but more like they were practicing. The two figures, one large and one small, kept jumping up and down on the ground and injured. After observing carefully for a while, Lu Feng felt that it was the older one who was teaching the younger one this skill. The two people in front of them were so focused that they didn't notice anyone secretly watching from the grass nearby. The more Lu Feng looked at it, the more something was wrong, and suddenly he realized that it seemed that Wang Feng was teaching the Toad Kung Fu to Yanguo. According to the previous understanding of the original plot, if the guess is correct, Yanguo is on this side, then Xiao Longnu is healing on the other side, and at this time, Yin's Haiping is on Xiao Longnu's side and wants to attack her. In this case, hurry up and find Xiao Longnu. After passing through a jungle, I saw Xiao Longnu sitting on the ground, trying to use the Jade Girl Heart Sutra to heal her injuries. But at this moment, a figure suddenly passed by, that was Yin's Haiping. Yin's Haiping took advantage of Xiao Longnu's injury and approached from behind, just to spy on his beauty. Xiao Longnu thought the person behind her was Yanguo, so she didn't pay much attention. Seeing that Yin's Haiping was about to attack Xiao Longnu, at this moment, Lu Feng suddenly appeared in front of the two of them, picked up a stick next to the tree and hit Yin's Haiping directly, focusing on Yin's Haiping. You came out of nowhere, you are so impatient. Yin's Haiping was furious and quickly put on the clothes that he had half taken off. At this time, Xiao Longnu also noticed and looked at the two of them with a frown. Then she noticed that she was not wearing any clothes and quickly brought something to cover up. Live. It doesn't matter where I came from. What's important is that you took advantage of others' danger and attacked Xiao Longnu while she was still injured. Although Xiao Longnu had reacted at this time, she couldn't move because of her injuries. She could only try her best to control her heart. She found that the person behind her was not Yanguo, but a person from Quanzhen cult. For a moment, there was no way to accept it yet. Lu Feng hurried over to separate the two, but Yin's Haiping directly drew his sword and faced each other. You guy, get out of my way quickly. You ruined my good deeds and I will make you die badly today. I want to see who died here today. While talking, the two of them started to fight. But when Yin's Haiping wanted to get close to Lu Feng, an arrow suddenly appeared in the darkness and shot straight through Yin's Haiping's chest. There was no time for him to react. Just like that, Yin's Haiping spit out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 776. As the sword in his hand fell, a sound rang out, and Yin's Haiping fell to the ground. Lu Feng came to Xiao Longnu, covered her body, sat behind her and began to transmit qi to her. After a while, Xiao Longnu felt that her body began to become comfortable, and she began to slowly resume her movements. When everything was over, Lu Feng stood up and slowly helped Xiao Longnu up. Fortunately, I came just in time, otherwise you would have been violated by that guy Yin's Haiping. Thank you for this hero. I don't a Euro trademark T know what to call him. My name is Lu Feng. Ludaxia, I a Euro trademark am lucky to have you here today, otherwise my innocence in this life would have been tarnished. Don't say that, this is what I should do. When the road is rough, we draw swords to get along. When people are wandering in the rivers and lakes, there will always be times when they need help. The two looked at each other. At this moment, Yang Guo came back. He just saw a strange man in front of his aunt. He was a little nervous at first. What kind of bad thing is pregnant? After all, Xiao Longnu is still injured. Yang Guo rushed straight away. Come here and push Lu Feng away. Who are you? What do you want to do to my aunt? Before Lu Feng could explain, Xiao Longnu said, Guo, you misunderstood. This hero Lu saved me just now. That bastard Yin's Haiping wanted to invade me while I was injured. This hero Lu was here, otherwise my reputation would be at stake. As she spoke, Xiao Longnu pointed at Yin's Haiping who was lying aside. Seeing Yin's Haiping's body, Yang Guo immediately understood. Even though the person was dead, he still kicked him twice, still cursing in his mouth. He came over in a blink of an eye. And said to Lu Feng, please forgive me, Master Lu. I didn't understand it just now. It doesn't matter, if I were you, I would probably be very excited too, it's just human nature. Little dragon girl looked around and asked, I wonder why Lu Daxia's companions haven't come out yet. Lu Feng was stunned for a while, and it seemed that he really couldn't control Xiao Longnu. Although he was injured, Xiao Longnu could still tell that the death of Yin's Haiping just now was not caused by Lu Feng. Lu Feng directly asked Huang Zhong. He came out and introduced to everyone, this is my subordinate General Huang. Just now he shot an arrow in the darkness and killed Yin's Haiping. Huang Zhong stepped forward to bow, introduced himself, then took a step back and stood behind Lu Feng. Xiao Longnu and Yang Guo stepped forward to thank them, and then asked, I wonder why Lu Daxia appears here so late. Actually, this question is quite important. After all, the current boundary should be on Zhongnan Mountain. Under normal circumstances, no one would come up at all, let alone in this remote place. Although it was just an arrow, but Xiao Longlu could feel that the two strangers in front of her had profound internal skills and their strength was unfathomable. The two of us are people who have traveled far and wide. We were originally in the village under the triangle. Unfortunately, we got lost after coming up and have not found the way back yet. I happened to meet you around here. If you don't mind, could you lead us down the mountain? Of course there is no problem, but I am injured now and may have difficulty moving. If you two don't mind, you can come to my ancient tomb sect to rest for one night. I will send you two down the mountain after you have rested tomorrow. 3 Kingdoms, I have a job transfer palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 777. Lu Feng nodded, indicating that there was no problem, and finally followed Xiao Longnu and Yang Guo back to the tomb sect. But before everyone left, they didn't forget to take Yin's Haiping's body away. In any case, Yin's Haiping was also a follower of the Quanzhen section. It was definitely unreasonable to die inexplicably in the wilderness. In the original world, Yin's Haiping was the most powerful disciple of his generation. If he was found dead, here, the Quanzhen sect will definitely do everything possible to find the truth. Before entering the ancient tomb sect, Lu Feng asked the bodies of Huang Zhong and Zhang Yin's Haiping to be buried. It was best to stay as far away from the ancient tomb sect as possible, so that even if they were discovered, they would not cast doubt on the ancient tomb section this way. Arriving inside the ancient tomb, Lu Feng thought about what to do next. According to the original timeline, if you want to make Yang Guo lose his arms, it is best not to let Yang Guo return to Guojing and Huang Rong. Only in this way can the subsequent development of the plot be prevented. In this case, it is better to stay with Yang Guo and not to leave too far away. So the next step is to find a good reason to stay the next day. According to the current timeline, Guojing will come to take Yang Guo back soon, and he must be stopped by then. That night, it rained heavily, causing trouble. The next day, when Yang Guo and Xiao Longlu came over, they were about to take Lu Feng away. When he arrived at the gate of the ancient tomb sect, he suddenly saw a voice and shadow here. Yang Guo walked up and took a look and found that it was Guojing. Uncle Guo, why are you here? If I don't come over, I'll really make this kid like you lawless. Why don't you stay in the Quanzhen sect instead of coming to this place? Come back with me. No, I want to be with my aunt. Yang Guo didn't want to go back with Guo Jing, but the latter insisted on taking him back, so the two became entangled. Lu Feng didn't expect Guo Jing to come so quickly, but it's better to resolve the matter as soon as possible. Fall. At this moment, Yang Guo is definitely not Guo Jing a Euro trademark S opponent. If he doesn't a Euro trademark T get involved, Yang Guo will definitely be taken away by Guo Jing. Just when Guo Jing was about to pull Yang Guo away, Lu Feng suddenly appeared between the two people. Wait a minute, Mr. Guo, I know why you have to take Yang Guo away from here, but in fact there is no need to do so. Who are you? Guo Jing glanced at. My Excellency, Lu Feng, met the two of them yesterday. Since we just met yesterday, there is no need to worry so much. Guo Jing is in anger at this moment. The reason is not because Lu Feng intervened, but because Yang Guo left the Quanzhen sect before. But even so, Lu Feng, you will never sit idly by. Guo Daxia, you may not know that it is actually much better for Yang Guo to stay in the Tomb sect than to stay in the Quanzhen section. Not all Quanzhen believers are gentlemen. Yang Guo has been treated unfairly before, and it was the Quanzhen sect that killed Grandma Sunday. Xiao Longnu just followed Grandma Sun's instructions and took care of Yang Guo. When he said this, everyone present was very shocked. After all, he only met Lu Feng yesterday, but he actually told everything today, which is really incredible. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 778. When Guo Jing heard this, he frowned and quickly asked Yang Guo, is this really what he said? Yang Guo did not respond directly, but asked Lu Feng, how do you know these things? We obviously just did it yesterday. We know each other, but you can tell me so clearly what happened when I was a child. Why is that? To be honest, I did have other purposes for coming here this time. I want to listen to the people in the martial arts community to help me accomplish my great cause, but if Yang Guo is allowed to go back now, it is very likely that the entire martial arts community will be disrupted. I thought this would stop Guo Jing, but I didn't expect him to respond. Even so, you must go back to me and make it clear. This matter cannot be so unclear. I was the one who sent him to the Quanzhen sect in the first place, but instead of staying well in the Quanzhen sect, he came out to cause trouble. This was my dereliction of duty. I must take him away. Guo Daxia, if you take Yang Guo away now, the people of the Quanzhen sect will not welcome him back. If you don't believe it, ask the Taoist priests of the Quanzhen sect yourself. Maybe it's because Lu Feng is speaking for Yang Guo, and he himself doesn't want to go back, so naturally Lu Feng stands aside. Uncle Guo, what Lu Daxia just said is true. There was a granny son who was very kind to me. Those who used to bully me were the ones who bullied me. Granny son saved me when they chased me, but in the end, a group of them surrounded me and beat me. Grandma son beat her to death, and it was my aunt who rescued me, otherwise I would definitely have been beaten to death by them. At this time, Guo Jing was caught in a dilemma. However, after a brief thought, Guo Jing still insisted on his opinion. Since he was the one who brought Yang Guo here in the first place, he would definitely have to earn someone to take him away in the end. What's more, for the sake of Yang Guo's proximity, Guo Jing couldn't ignore Yang Guo. Even if what you said is true, Guo must go back with me today. It doesn't a Euro trademark T matter if you a Euro trademark re not in the Quanzhen section. Follow me back to Xiangyang. Your aunt Guo hasn't a Euro trademark T seen you for a long time. I won't go back, I want to stay here with my aunt. Aunt Guo has not liked me very much since she was a child. Why should I go back? Seeing that Yang Guo was very stubborn and unwilling to leave here, Guojing was ready to take action directly. But the moment he stretched out his hand, a sharp arrow shot directly towards him. In a blink of an eye, he saw that it was Huang Zhong. Hero Guo, if Yang Guo doesn't a Euro trademark T want to go back, eat a Euro trademark S better to just let him stay here. After all, he is now an independent thinker, not to mention that I still need his help. If you insist on letting him take him away, you might as well get through me first. Lu Feng was not polite at all. Since the other party wanted to use force, he would not be afraid. He thought that this would scare Guojing and make him give up, but he did not expect that the other party would directly use the 18 dragon subduing palms. If Huang Zhong and Xiao Longnu hadn't taken action at this time, Lu Feng and Yang Guo would have been hit. Hero Guo, eat a Euro trademark S better to do this. If you can defeat my men, I will not interfere in this matter. Otherwise, you can go back by yourself. Well, today I want to see how capable your men are at thwarting me. While talking, everyone else stepped back, and Huang Zhong and Guojing looked at each other face to face. Three Kingdoms, I have a job transfer palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 779. The fallen leaves fell to the ground, and Huang Zhong immediately passed through the woods. Guojing chased after him. The two people shuttled through the trees, chasing each other, and a chase started. It's just that Huang Zhong kept shooting arrows while widening the distance between him and Guojing. The latter can only keep dodging, and can only keep looking for opportunities before getting close. Maybe they can use the method of delaying time. After all, Huang Zhong's number of bows and arrows is limited. As long as he uses up his bows and arrows, Guojing will have the advantage. Although such a method could be used, Guojing did not do so. Instead, he directly used the dragon's tail swing in the 18 moves to subdue the dragon, directly cutting down all the surrounding trees. In this way, Huang Zhong had nothing to protect him. Guojing rushed towards Huang Zhong, originally thinking that the outcome could be decided in this way, but Huang Zhong was not as good as his mission and stood motionless. When the opponent came over, a few leaves on the ground were actually shot out as bows and arrows. It hit Guojing directly in the chest. Everyone stopped and Huang Zhong said, "If I had used my bow and arrow just now, you wouldn't be standing here now. Your Excellency is really a perfect shot. I, Guojing, admire you. Since I have lost today, I will keep my promise." Guojing is not the kind of unreasonable person, and as the leader of the martial arts alliance, he can be said to have said what he said, and it is difficult to follow up. Since he has promised something before, he will definitely not go back on it now. But before leaving, Guojing was still right. Yang Guo said, "Guo, I still hope you will think carefully. It is not necessarily a bad thing to come back to Xiangyang with me. Uncle Guo, I know you are worried about my safety. But please don't a Euro trademark T worry, my aunt is very good at martial arts. I a Euro trademark LL be fine with her here. In this case, just be on your own. But you are always welcome to Xiangyang, and it doesn't matter if you change your mind. Take good care of yourself, I'm leaving first." After finishing speaking, Guojing came to Lu Feng and Huang Zhong again. "You two are very strong in martial arts. Today I am willing to be inferior, I am willing to admit defeat. I will definitely accomplish what I promised. Please rest assured. Guo Daxia is a brave and upright person who is admired by everyone." After saying that, Guojing disappeared directly in front of everyone. After he completely left, Lu Feng finally felt relieved. As long as he could prevent Yang Guo from returning to Xiangyang at this moment, he could try to avoid what happened next. In this case, Yang Guo will not let go of the Guo family, let alone lose one arm. In this way, he has completed the first task given by the system. Next, he needs to focus on strengthening the Han people. At this time, Xiao Longlu came forward and asked Lu Daxia, "You haven't answered the question well before. Can you tell us the situation? Why do you know what we did before? In fact, Grandma Sun told me all this. Before Granny Sun died, that is, before the people from the whole body sect came to find her, she wrote a letter to my father. She and my father were old acquaintances, so she originally hoped that my father could take care of his son for him. However, unexpectedly, Grandma Sun died so quickly. When he said this, Lu Feng also made a sad expression. The purpose was to make others believe what he said. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 780. When Yang Guo heard this, he felt a little sad for a moment, especially when he mentioned Granny Sun. He would think of her kind face. But at this time, Xiao Longnu asked, "No, I have never heard of Granny Sun knowing any people in the world. It's just that she never said it. When Grandma Sun was still alive, you didn't talk to each other much. Grandma Sun was kind to my father, so she asked my father to take care of Yang Guo. It's a pity that my father and mother died suddenly in an accident, and I was still young at that time. It was only after I grew up that I saw Grandma Sun's letter among my father's belongings." After this explanation, the story has become more complete, and there are many fewer loopholes, which are not easy to be discovered by Xiao Longnu's careful mind. Although there are still some doubts, they cannot be found out immediately. But for a moment, I didn't Euro trademark T know what to say. Xiao Longnu couldn't Euro trademark T find anything to say, so she let down her guard. "In fact, you two don't need to worry so much. I have no ill intentions. I died and showed up just to help you. Apart from that, I have more important things to accomplish, so if there is a chance in the future, we will see you in the world. Please wait for a moment. I originally planned to leave like this, but was stopped." Lu Feng asked, "I don't know why you are doing this. I just asked Master Lu, I need help with something. If you don't mind, can you take me with you? Lu Daxia is a sincere person, not to mention that he did me a big favor just now. I am willing to help Lu Daxia complete his great cause." As soon as Yang Guo finished speaking, Xiao Longnu stepped forward and said quickly, "Guo is right, Lu Daxia has helped us many times, and we are willing to follow Lu Daxia. Lu Daxia just said that there are still very important things to be done, so we absolutely cannot ignore them." At this moment, before Lu Feng could make any response, the system already reminded Yang Guo and Xiao Longnu that they could now transfer through the job transfer hall. Since these two people have already belonged to themselves, Lu Feng also there is nothing to refuse, but now is not the time. Let these two people help when needed. And it is not easy to let Yang Guo leave the tomb sect now, otherwise everything he has done just now will be in vain. I thank you too for your kindness in advance, and I promise you that I will help you if I really need it, but now is not the time. Yang Guo cannot leave the tomb sect yet. Thesa euro Yang Guo was a little at a loss. He actually didn't know why Lu Feng kept saying this. Lu Feng noticed that there were some loopholes in what he just said, and quickly explained, "Little dragon girl is already very strong, but Yang Guo, you still need to practice martial arts well now. If you leave rashly before you have learned it well, you may not even be able to protect yourself. How can you help me? Instead of doing this, it is better for the tomb sect to practice hard now, but I need to help myself, so I will naturally send someone to come to you." After hearing everything Lu Feng said, the two people immediately understood and responded quickly. After a few words of greeting, Xiao Longnu took Lu Feng and Huang Zhong down the mountain. After saying goodbye to Xiao Longnu and Yang Guo, they went to Yingtian Mansion. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 781. The current Emperor Song Litsong, Zhao Yun, should be in Yingtian Mansion. Only by obtaining military power from him can we legitimately attack the Jin soldiers. Otherwise, the number of these righteous warriors will not be enough. Although the current southern Song dynasty has not changed much compared to the previous period, as long as you have military power, no matter what you do, it will be much smoother. At worst, it will be exactly the same as last time. After getting the military power, you can train the soldiers in your own way. In a few months, you can train elite soldiers and strong generals. By then, it will not be a problem to attack the Jin soldiers. It still takes a lot of distance from Zhongnan Mountain to Yingtian Mansion. At this time, Guan Yu can be sent out and he can take everyone forward with the divine horse. The final time used will definitely be shorter than originally expected. After arriving at Yingtian Mansion, we quickly found the location of the palace. However, the palace is heavily guarded and it is still impossible to enter blatantly. I was originally thinking about whether I could use the method last time, but suddenly I saw a group of ordinary farmers walking out of the construction site. They were pushing a large cart of things in their hands. If you look carefully, you can see that they should be the daily workers. The royal kitchen is the vehicle for you to deliver the required goods. Lu Feng had an idea, maybe he could sneak in quietly in this way. If I guess correctly, there will be at least 2 such transportations every day. We can just take advantage of the transportation opportunity tomorrow morning to sneak in. Let's take a good rest today. After this period of continuous driving, we are already a little tired. After finding an inn to stay, Lu Feng quietly hid in the cargo of the transport vehicle before dawn the next day. In order not to be discovered, he also deliberately buried the goods on himself. No one knew about it. It didn't take long for the people transporting the goods to prepare to enter the palace. Although this is done every day, you will still be inspected every time you enter and exit the palace. The palace token is definitely indispensable. As for whether the goods are inspected, it really depends on luck. Maybe my luck was not good this time, so entering the palace was not so smooth. Although I had shown the token to the guard still had to check the goods. These guards carefully observed the surroundings of the goods, and from time to time would open the goods for inspection. When it was the turn of the vehicle Lu Feng was in, the guards even opened the goods to check the situation. Fortunately, it was not too deep. Lu Feng had thought of this before and hid himself in the deepest part, so he was not discovered. After a period of frightening, the vehicle transporting goods successfully entered the palace and stopped at the imperial kitchen. Although he had not ordered it before and was not very clear about the situation in the palace, Lu Feng knew that once he entered the imperial dining room, someone would immediately come to pick him up and carry the goods. There would be many people by then, and he would not be able to do it in full view of the public. Disappeared without being discovered. So before entering the imperial dining room, Lu Feng looked for an opportunity to sneak out. It just so happened that it was still dark and he would not be discovered. After quietly following the vehicle transporting goods, knowing the location of the imperial kitchen, he could roughly determine the location of Songlit Song Zhaoyun. Following some relevant clues, Lu Feng found the largest palace. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 782. I originally thought that I would have time to go find Songlit Song at this time, but when I got here, I found that people were already coming to the palace one after another. All of these people who came were ministers, and it seemed that they had already begun to prepare for the morning court. In this case, we can only wait until they finish handling the political affairs. It was not until noon that Lu Feng saw Songlit Song coming out of the hall, followed by a large group of people behind him. Following these people, Lu Feng arrived at Songlit Song's palace. When everyone was waiting outside, it was finally Lu Feng's turn to appear. Who are you? Why did he suddenly appear in my palace? When Songlit Song saw a stranger appearing in front of him, he was shocked. After all, there were so many people there just now, and he didn't even notice that an assassin had broken in. Your Majesty, there is no need to panic. I am not an assassin. I came here mainly to ask for military power from you. You also know that the Jin soldiers will attack soon, especially Xiangyang City, which is definitely a battleground for their military strategists. I hope to lead the troops to fight and repel these golden soldiers. Song Litsong was a little confused. He thought that an assassin came to assassinate him, but he didn't want to, and he wanted military power as soon as he came. This was obviously wrong. The important thing is that the stranger in front of him did not want to kill him. What it means is that he is just sitting there making tea and drinking it. If the other party really wants to assassinate him, he cannot show up blatantly like this. He will definitely assassinate secretly. This is what the assassin does. After all, you are just someone who sneaked into the palace. Why do you want me to believe you? It is true that the Jin soldiers will attack soon, but my army is not free food. Why should I hand over the military power to you? Your Majesty, don't you still know what the strength of your soldiers is? I can show you my abilities so you know if I'm qualified to lead troops in war. Oh? How to display? My people can penetrate a poplar with 100 steps and hit 100 hits with every shot. While speaking, Lu Feng waved his hand, and a sharp arrow appeared from nowhere, piercing all the candles on the stage and fixing them on the pillars. At this time, Song Litsong realized that there were other people inside. But the arrow just now was indeed excellent. Although it didn't talk about the distance, it was really not something ordinary people could do to take out so many candles with one arrow. When the person who recommended it came out, he saw that he was very elegant. Handsome and unrestrained, indeed has the aura of a fierce general. Your Majesty, he is a fierce general under my command. If you can hand over all your troops to me, I can guarantee you victory. Compared with the previous Emperor Lu Feng, Song Litsong was more calm and composed. When faced with such a thing, it would be easier to think rationally. Soon after, Song Litsong responded, I can hand over all the troops to you, so that you become a general. But I have a condition. If you can remove the Jin soldiers stationed in the nearest military camp in my Song dynasty territory, I will hand over all the soldiers to you. What do you think? Of course, no problem, ETA Euro trademark SA deal. After that, Lu Feng and Huang Zhong left the hall and agreed that it would only take 10 days to complete the agreement.